Welcome back to Gentle Herb Living. After 6 months of testing charged biochar and shredded cardboard in companion beds, I found a soil trick that, honestly, changed how I manage fertility. I set up 3 beds, biochar only, cardboard only, and both together, using identical soil and plants so results would be clear. What unfolded wasn't incremental. The bed with both materials produced faster growth, held moisture longer, and hosted more visible life. Below, I'll explain exactly what I did, what I observed, and how you can replicate this in your garden. Why I chose to pair biochar with cardboard. Biochar is porous charcoal that holds water and provides microscopic habitat for microbes. Cardboard is a carbon-rich, readily available material that breaks into food for fungi and detritivores. The theory was straightforward. Charge the biochar with microbes so its pores are full, then add shredded cardboard to rapidly feed and grow the microbial web. If both materials play to their strengths, the soil should become a long-term living sponge rather than a short-term nutrient dump. How I charged the biochar and prepared the cardboard. Charging matters. Raw biochar soaks up nutrients and can rob the soil if added dry. I soaked my biochar for 10 days in a mix of finished compost tea and worm tea, stirring daily so microbes could colonize the pores. For the cardboard, I removed tape and glossy print, tore it into strips, soaked until soft, and then shredded it into small pieces so it would integrate rather than form a barrier. Both materials went into the beds moist and inoculated. So, here's how I went about building the test beds and applying the materials. Each bed, you see, used the same base soil and the same transplants. I mixed charged biochar at about 5% by volume into the top 6 inches. Then, I worked shredded cardboard into the top 3 inches and topped it off with an inch of compost to speed up colonization. Now, in the combined bed, I spread biochar through the root zone and placed the shredded cardboard above it under a thin mulch. This arrangement, well, it places habitat and food right where the roots and microbes meet. So, here's how I maintained the beds over 6 months. My approach was, honestly, really consistent but also low effort. I just kept the mulch even, watered lightly, and applied compost tea about once a month. Twice during that period I recharged the biochar by flushing diluted compost extract through the soil to refill its pores. I also monitored moisture with a probe and aerated when it seemed necessary. No heavy synthetic fertilizers were used. I wanted biology to do the work and show me the difference. Now, let's talk about what I actually observed and, well, the jaw-dropping result. Within just a few weeks, the combined bed was already showing more worm castings and a finer crumb structure. By the 3rd month, plants in that bed were noticeably greener and sturdier, and by the 6th month, yields were significantly higher with much longer intervals between waterings. Soil testing revealed improved cation exchange capacity and higher microbial respiration exactly where biochar and cardboard coexisted. In practice, charged biochar stored and shared nutrients while shredded cardboard fed the microbes that made those nutrients plant available. Together, they created this living, sponge-like matrix. So, how can you replicate this in your own garden? Honestly, start small. Charge your biochar in compost tea for about a week to 10 days. Shred and soak your cardboard, and then mix biochar at about 3 to 7% by volume into your bed's topsoil. Work the shredded cardboard into the top few inches just under a compost cap and keep the surface mulched. Top dress monthly with compost tea and, avoid heavy synthetic feeds. Give it a season. This system really builds as microbes and roots establish. Here are my final thoughts. If you want soil that actually holds onto fertility instead of just letting it wash away, try pairing charged biochar with shredded cardboard. It creates a living matrix that retains water, feeds microbes, and steadily releases nutrients right where your plants can use them. Try it out on a single bed first, then scale up if you like the results. And if this experiment helped, please subscribe, share, and let me know what you'd like me to test next.